Culture is so important. It's how we keep track of time. You see, different periods of time have different cultures. Like in high school, remember we would do those throwback spirit days, and then some people would dress up and they would, embellish and really go into certain cuts of denim and certain levels of jeans, right? Depending on where jeans were fitted on a person's body, it would tell you what time period they're dressing up as. If it's too low, I don't know what time period that is. If it's just right, I don't know what that is. But if it's too high, that's also a third time period I'm not aware of. But I'm sure people that study history, people that study culture could tell me. They could look at a pair of jeans on a waistline, see how they sit, and tell me, yes, that's 1993. Well, I think, even though I'm not well versed in this practice and this study of time periods and how cultures look in them, I think I have one of my own, and I think it's drinking soda. You see, I think the older generations, we'll call them like boomers. I don't know what else is up there, but boomers, they love a cane sugar soda. Now, that doesn't mean no one else loves a cane sugar soda, but they especially love putting that real sugar in their drink. But if you really want to get it the real way, you would put cocaine in your Coke. We all know that. But then as you get a little younger, right, we'll call them millennials. Well, the way I think about millennials as a 27-year-old is like between 35 to like 47. I don't know where I came up with that, but that just feels right. And I feel like millennials really like Diet Coke. It's what growing up I was always exposed to people drinking. I was like, oh, this seems like the drink of our times, a sign of our times. And now we've gotten into this interesting territory where we've been drinking zero sugar sodas. It feels very Gen Z. But also, Gen Z does love a good Diet Coke. That seems like it's making a return, just like a low-rise gene. And so that's what's happening these days. That's what's out there, and it's awesome. I've been indulging myself. I, about once a week with a slice of pizza, will have a Dr. Pepper Zero or a zero sugar root beer. And it got me thinking this week, I like zero sugar Dr. Pepper more than regular Dr. Pepper. And is it the taste? Yeah, but also it's like just the effect on the body. Because I don't know if you've paid attention to sugar and how much sugar is in things. Don't look at it because it'll ruin everything for you. You can't eat a bowl of cereal without probably freaking out if you start paying attention to sugar. From what I've read on the internet, and the internet never lies, so what I've found to be true is that you're only supposed to eat around 30 grams of sugar in a day. Processed sugar, right? You shouldn't really go over that. That should be a cap. And it's not like you should be hitting that, right? No one's like checking you in, tucking you in at night and being like, did you get your 30 grams today? And you're like, oh shit, no, I'm only at 22. Go eat a donut. No, don't. And have a glass of milk too. All right? Whole milk. We got to get you up to that number. So that's about how much sugar you're supposed to drink in a day as an adult. That's what I've read online. Do you know how much one of these, I think it's, what is it, 12 ounces, 16 ounces? One of those little like plastic bottles of Dr. Pepper, I'll put it right here. How much sugar do you think's in here? If you're only supposed to drink 30 grams of sugar a day, how much sugar is in here? I'll put the size right underneath it. 55 grams of sugar. So what are you talking about? That you can only drink half of one of these with a meal and that should be already enough sugar for the day? That's insane. Now, so you go to the alternative, Dr. Pepper Zero, which apparently has zero sugar. And I don't know if I've just tricked myself because it's the alternative and the lifestyle I've chosen, but I do confidently say that I like the taste of Dr. Pepper Zero better than regular Dr. Pepper. I think it still has 23 flavors as advertised, but it just doesn't have any of the sugar. And so it got me thinking, this is too good to be true. What is going on in the zero sugar soda community? What are they doing? What kind of levers and tricks are they pulling over there? Because what do you mean that there's a better tasting option that is healthier? That, to me, I was reminded of Harry Potter. I've only watched like one or two of the movies, but it was a very vivid image in my mind that came forward, which is chocolate frogs. If you've never read the Harry Potter books or seen the movies, chocolate frogs are a way of healing the characters in that world and in that book. Because I forgot why it happened, but when they're on the train to Hogwarts, right? They're going around, they're passing out snacks, or you can like buy snacks, they have it on a little cart. And I think Harry and Ron are like, I'll do some chocolate frogs. And I think it's then that it's revealed that, oh, chocolate frogs have healing properties. You can eat that and then heal. It'll make you feel better. Whatever you got going on, it'll fix it. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense because chocolate is this thing we love, but we can't eat it all the time because it's not healthy. So, of course, in this mythical, magical world, they make the thing that we can't eat a lot something that you should actually be encouraged to eat a lot to help your health. And so this feels the same. A Dr. Pepper Zero. Same taste, except it's good for you. What's that about? What are they doing over there? And I don't get it. Because what's the catch, right? Because it feels like snake oil salesman. You go up to a guy in a top hat that's, again, a sign of the times. No one's wearing top hats nowadays, especially not in theaters. They were doing that at the same time last time. I need a top hat in a theater like I need a hole in my head. Am I right, Abe Lincoln? Okay, sorry. Let's take a $5. The dollar bill. Anywho. But you would see a guy in a top hat, right? It's probably a full pinstripe fit, and you would be like, hey, thanks for the zero sugar soda. What's the catch? And he would go, oh, well, there's no catch, my dear boy. It's just as good as that. I'm like, no, well, okay. I don't know why you're talking like that. That feels weird. It feels whimsical, but not in like a good way, in a nefarious way. Like there's ill intent beneath that swatch, or what is that little like pocket, the handkerchief, the little pocket square that they have. It feels like there's a little devil sitting right beneath it as he hands you a zero sugar A&W encrusted plastic bottle. And he goes, no, that's good for you. How could it be? If it tastes so good, it shouldn't be good for you. That's why broccoli exists. It exists not to be eaten. No one should be eating broccoli, but it exists to tell a story. And that is that good things are bad. And so you should only be doing bad things in life. Oh, okay, Gauruv. So I should go murder? That's okay. I feel my message got lost somewhere, but I think you get what I mean. But all this aside, I do wonder what is going on with zero sugar soda. Is it going to catch up to us? Like, that's for sure. Like, I've just been reading online. Apparently, every fucking thing online that I'm reading has decided to hard launch ham this week. What do you mean hard launch ham? I mean, everyone online has been talking about how ham is apparently a 1A carcinogen, and so you shouldn't be eating it. I'm like, what are you talking about? But that's the thing. It feels like everything probably has cancer in it. I talked about this, what, 3-4 years ago? Nutella? Nutella for sure is going to give you cancer. What do you mean? It's just like a chocolate spread that you can kind of smear on your toast in the morning? No, no. If anything lets you put things where they don't belong, it's probably bad for you. Like, Denny's or IHOP, that whole establishment, that's not good. That's why if you go to one of those places, you have to fight someone, probably. There's about a 73% chance that you get into a fight at a Denny's because it comes at a cost. You can't just go eat a fucking 3-stack of cinnamon pancakes and think, no, there's no strings attached. There might be a fist attached to the side of your cheek because you can't go to places like that and not pay a price. A moment on the lips, lifetime on the hips. There's no way you don't get your shit pushed in. If you go to a Denny's and you go, yeah, sincerely, could I get a large chocolate shake? And yeah, I'll do the 3-stack Cinna stacks. Oh, actually, you know what? It'd be cheaper if we got the combo. Let's do a couple sausage slings, hash browns, and eggs on the side. Prepare them however you want. It can't be good for you. That's a place that sells dessert, but they masquerade as a breakfast place. What are you talking about? There's no way that can be right. And so this little, zero sugar thing we're doing right now, a very topical sign of our times, I don't know about it. I'm weary of it, right? Can I imagine having kids for a second? I imagine, what if my kid befriended someone that seemed too cool and too put together? I'm like, an 8-year-old shouldn't be that way. That's my relationship with a zero sugar soda. What's the catch? What are you going to do? Are you going to murder my kid when I turn my back? No, be honest. Hey, son, can I talk to your friend alone? Yeah, no, he'll be right out. You guys will be able to play together. Cool. Hey, so what the fuck is your deal, bud? Okay? Because you befriend my son. No, he seems happy and all. I've never made him happy, and that's his fault, not mine. But what do you bring to the table? What's so different about you? What do I not have that you do? And he's like, well, I'm every good part of you without the bad. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus, holy shit. So you think there's good parts of me? Okay. But it is, I'm on edge with these hooligans known as zero sugar soda. Now, am I going to change anything? No, of course not. I'm still going to have that slice of pizza on Thursday with my Dr. Pepper Zero, and I'm still going to have that spicy pork bowl on Saturday with the zero sugar A&W root beer. But I'm going to be thinking about it the whole time, okay? I'm not going to change anything, but I'm going to be thinking really long and hard. I thought about it this week. I overthink some things, and sometimes it's productive, and I think we all do that. Some things we overthink, and sometimes it's productive. But then other things are just not. You see, I was playing basketball this week. My ankle's fucked, but I've been watching the NBA playoffs for the past like 2 months, and it's just giving me this insane itch. Well, Garv, there's a cream for that. Right, and I would love to talk about that after this episode if you could stick around. Yeah, if everyone else could drop off the call and you and I could have a moment, I would love to know what creams you're putting in where and how much and how often. But I've been watching basketball, and geez Louise, it's been giving me a bit of an itch to shoot a basketball. I couldn't tell you the last time I shot a real basketball. I've shot the arcade hoops, right? I've impressed at a work team builder, but I haven't gotten out to the blacktop, to the hardwood, and put up some shots. And so seeing these grown men, too hot to trot, running up and down the court, I'm like, well, I need to get out there. I want to shoot a basketball. I want to feel that feeling again. So I bought a basketball, and it was only $30. And I was telling my friend about this. I'm like, hey, this is a good basketball. Why did I grow up thinking that you had to take out a loan to get a basketball? And he was like, oh, you know what? It's just like TVs. I feel like there's something with TVs. I think they've gotten cheaper over time. I don't think basketballs have gotten cheaper, but for some reason, yeah, when you're younger, everything that's maybe over $15, I think your parents are like, are you sure we need this? Because as a kid, you kind of got to be taught limits. They got to cut you off at a certain point. See, even adults, they go to a bar and a bartender will be like, I'm not going to serve you anymore. That's what you have to do to kids so they don't end up at that bar later being told by another adult, maybe even someone that's younger than them, being like, I can't serve you, man. What the fuck do you know, man? I'm older than you. Pour the fucking drink, bro. And then they got to call the police. And yeah, that's a whole thing. Because then by the time you get to the station, you're probably sober and it's not fun anymore. And then you're like, oh my God, how did I end up here? You know what, guys? You got to excuse me. When I did those bad things, I was drunk. So that wasn't really me if you think about it. But no, you got to teach a kid their limits. And so you got to cut them off. You can't, if they're like, I want a gaming console, you can't be like, yeah, me too, let's get it. And it's like, no, that's your kid, not your roommate. They're not going to chip in, okay? That's how you have to look at kids. They're like freeloaders because they are. A roommate in your 20s, you could be like, hey, you want to maybe get a better sound system? I feel like ours sucks. Dude, I've been thinking about that too. Let's do it. I'm so glad you brought it up. Did you did you happen to already look and like find a good one? Because you're the sound guy. So if anyone's gonna know, it's gonna be you. That's what people do when you're an adult. Anytime no one wants to like take responsibility or head a project or drive some deliverable, they'll just be like, well, you're so good at it. Oh my God. No, you're like an expert. And then they start indulging you and it just feels shitty. No, like last weekend, weren't you doing? Yeah. Oh my God. So it's like his thing. He should do it out of everyone. I could do it. I have the time, I have the energy, I have the resources. I just don't think I do a good job. And I just want what's best for the group. So I think, yeah, just thinking, I know, thinking outside of myself, I think it would be best and be the most ethical decision if you did it and not me. And I just got to experience it and enjoy it. That makes sense, right? But you got to cut off a kid. And so if they ask for a basketball when they're younger, it's like, well, you're going to play with it, once or twice, and you're going to throw it in the garage and forget about it. And it's going to be deflated. And then, next time you have a little itch to do it, we're going to have to buy a pump. And then you're going to go and find that a rat lives in that basketball now. So now we need a new basketball. And then when you went and found a rat was in it, you got scared and threw the pump at it. And the rat bit the pump. And now the pump has rabies. So now we need a new pump and a ball. And we need to hire the exterminator. It's just not worth it, right? It's easier to tell a kid no than like deal with their happiness. That's what you got to do. You got to cut out all happiness in the world. Because if we've been taught this, right? There's ebbs and flows. If there's a really good thing, well, there's going to be an equally bad thing. So if you don't want to deal with bad things, we'll cut out all the good things. And then you can just live at this baseline. Just be at a flat line your entire life. And then you never really have to live. But then you never have to deal with bad stuff. And bad stuff makes you feel bad. So that's not good, yeah. But this basketball was $30. And yeah, my friend was like, I feel like it was like TVs when we were younger. We're like, they've probably gotten cheaper over time, but also they probably were never really that expensive. It's just like you're in a family, so it's like hard to justify purchases like that. Like if you're watching something on TV, right? What are you watching? Fucking Jimmy Neutron or Fairly Odd Parents? You're not going to tell your parents, hey, can we get a better high def TV? I'm not seeing his wishes as clearly as I would like to. When he does a brain blast, I want to see every little atom that we go into. I feel like it's very fuzzy right now, and I think we should go up. Your parents would hit you. They'd be like, what are you talking about? Not, you know, actually, like literally hit you. Again, sign of our times. If this was the 90s, they'd lay some skin across your face, but they wouldn't be doing that now. Now, this is what, because I'm brown, sometimes it comes up with other browns. They always say, did your parents ever hit you growing up? I was like, no. But it always felt like there was a threat from my dad. He would never do it, and I know that. But sometimes he would get serious, and, I don't know. It felt like he'd be justified if he hit me, you know? So yeah, I got a basketball because they're not that expensive. And I've just been going to this blacktop near this like school. You know how some schools have like a blacktop that has like 9 basketball courts? I found one of those that's like not too far away. So I drive to it and I just shoot around and it's awesome. But I don't run because I can't, so I just walk around. But the problem with these blacktops that are just, vast spaces of gray is that if a ball hits the rim and it goes rolling, well, there's nothing to stop it. So it'll just keep rolling. That's why I play with the one that has grass behind it. So in case the ball goes that way, at least that's 25% of the area that will stop the ball. But if it goes anywhere else, well, now I gotta walk. I gotta limp over there. So yeah, I'm not taking jump shots. I'm just taking shots. But speaking of overthinking some things and it being not productive, today I was shooting a basketball earlier and there was a dad with his 2 kids, daughter and a son. Son maybe a little older than the daughter. If I was to guess, the son is like 5. He's that age where like he can talk and technically say sentences, but it's more noises than sentences. Does that make sense? Like he'll be like, I like basketball. And you're like, that's good, buddy. Yeah. What else do you like? And it's like, motorcycle. I'm like, well, yes, these are all valid words. These are all technically, you got the bones of a conversation, but I wouldn't say it is. It could be better. And so it's like that age where it's like, yeah, technically there are full sentences coming out, but it's more noise than words. And so that's how old the son was, and the daughter was a little younger. And so it started with the dad and son playing basketball half court against each other, and the dad playing faux defense, and then the son breezed by him. But like I said, you gotta teach kids lessons, so I would swat that shit all the way, 9 basketball courts away, and be like, yeah, fucking go get it, man. And he'd be like, why can't you get it? I'd be like, well, this is a lesson. Because I wouldn't be able to tell him my right ankle doesn't work. So I'd be like, no, this is parenting. You'll get it when you grow up. So, is there a book on that? Nope. But it's the rules. Well, where are they written? How are they rules if they're not written anywhere? Listen, okay? There's software inside of you. And when you get to a certain age, the software updates and you get certain information that you don't have yet. Okay? Stop asking so many fucking questions. By the way, they phase out of your software. Okay? There's a patch note, hopefully coming up soon, that stops you from asking stupid shit like that. Don't talk to me. Okay? It's so annoying. Oh my God. Question. Can you imagine being with your kid at like elementary school? Maybe there's like a play and your son comes like running from backstage and he's like, Dad, I need something. Hey, can you get it? And like, I need this. And you're like, yeah, no problem. I got it in the car. And he runs away and you turn to the parent next to you. Kid won't shut up, huh? I should see him at home. But he's a blabbermouth. That was just a little appetizer. Oh my God. He goes on for hours just like that. Can you believe it? Oh. Just a parent that hates their kid, which is a lot of them, but one that's like open about it. Being like, yeah, God, can this guy just shut up? Jeez, he doesn't have any issues, huh? What does he have? Arithmetic? Okay. I mean, I don't know how to do that stuff, but, I have to sit in front of a screen and look at an Excel document for 7 hours. So that's harder. Okay. But I thought about it. There was his dad with his son and his daughter, and the dad was over there playing wall ball with his daughter, and the son was in the play area. And so the dad was like, oh, son, come over. Let's play with, your sister. and he was crossing the half court line of the court I was playing. And so I was shooting the ball, and I could see out of my peripheral vision he was turning and like looking at me shoot the ball. And this is what I mean when I say I overthink things and it's not productive, because I let this go too far. And I know, Garv, shut it down, because don't think like that. I thought okay, I don't seriously think this, but this is a thought I had. It's one of those things. You can think of murder, but as long as you don't do it, you're fine. Right? Well, okay, you should probably see someone about that, but it's only until you do the thing is it bad? Okay. This is what I thought. I thought a kid will walk behind me while I'm shooting a basketball. And I think about the fact that if I make this basket, that might cause that kid to fall in love with the game of basketball, then get really good, then make it to the pros, and then get drafted by the Sacramento Kings as a nice little hometown story, right? He's from the Sacramento area. How nice would it be to get drafted by his hometown team? And then he'll be such a superstar, and I like going to Kings games, that I would want to go and see him play. And then what if I meet my wife at that game all because of him? And the only reason he's a basketball player is because he saw me shoot that shot and make it. And so as I'm taking this shot, I'm like, wait a minute. So if I miss, in theory, I'll never meet my wife. Does that make sense? Do you do that? No, it's not productive, and I don't do it all the time. Like, I think this, I'm like, that's funny, and then I move on. But I'm sure people think this way and then stress themselves the fuck out. I basically was like, the fate of my future is on the line if I make this shot or not. Because that kid will be a professional. He will be an NBA All-Star if I sink this shit. And then I have to make it the right way. If you fucking hit a bank shot, that's not going to impress the kid. You got to get nothing but net. And then he'll be like, wait a minute. Basketball's my calling. I'm the next superstar. You're like, yeah, man, you are. And I'm him. He's going to go back, right? He's going to go back when he's an NBA All-Star. He's going to go back to that blacktop. I'm going to still be there, just walking around, shooting a basketball from a standing position, all arms, no legs. And then they're going to try to do a player profile on him, be like, wow, this is where you grew up? Yeah, no, this is where I would come. And I'll be like, oh my God, it's him. Yo, you have me to thank for your career. And be like, I don't know who you are. And then his security would tackle me, detain me. And they'd be like, are you okay? And I'd be like, no, I knew him when he was a kid. Well, he's saying he doesn't know who you are. I'm like, no. No. I am very instrumental in why you... This is going to sound crazy. You wouldn't be talking to me, and you wouldn't even know him if it wasn't for me, okay? So yeah, some thoughts are productive, right? It's like, maybe I should bring a coat. It might rain where I'm going. That's a productive overthink. But what I did today, it was funny. It was a nice little thought exercise, but I was like, knock it off, man. Just shoot the ball, okay? And I've been enjoying it. It's nice to go and just shoot a basketball. It's nice to just be outside, is what I'm finding. But it's nice to be with like a nice ball. That's one nice thing about being an adult. You can just buy nice things. And I'm not saying like buy a fucking sports car. I'm like, buy a blender that works. That's awesome, right? There's a joke like, oh, you get an adult socks. And it's like, socks. Socks are cool. I would love some socks. If they're good quality socks, let me know, right? I remember a few years ago, I had a conversation with a guy about good mattresses. And knowing me, you might be like, oh, you're probably snoozing on that conversation. I was locked in more than I usually am. I was like, really? Good back support too? Okay. Yeah, send me the link. No, yeah, you have my number. Here you go. Those are like 3 things I would never do. I don't know what the 3 things are, but there's a lot of checkpoints in that conversation where I would probably tap out. But for some reason, I was like, no, this is good. Keep them going. You're with like a family member and they're trying to like get you out of the conversation. Oh, well, actually, Garv and I have to go somewhere. No, we can wait. We can wait. Hold on. No, you were saying, right? It's like memory foam. Okay, so remember. Okay. And you can sleep. Interesting. No, you hearing this? This is good stuff. Wow. But growing up, I only had, I don't even know what balls I had. I had these 2 balls. I know what types they were. There was the first ball and then the second ball. I don't even know what brand they were, but I had 2 balls. Don't know where they were from. Yeah, I didn't do 23andMe on my balls growing up. Except with basketballs, I bet 23andMe, the 23 would stand for Michael Jordan. Okay. But I still got it. I got a nice shot. And if it doesn't go in, well, that's the wind's fault. That's one thing about playing outside. You can always blame it on the wind. But in case there's someone like way far away watching you shoot the basketball, like maybe that kid, right? You got to make sure you do the theater of it all. Like if you miss, you have to really make it obvious that it was the wind. So you got to do stuff like spit in the air, and then they might not see the spit. They might think you just went, like that, make a motion with your lips. So to really sell people, to show how windy it is, you got to spit and then act like it came back and hit you in the head and be like, oh, goodness. Go, watch it like a boomerang and go, oh my God. And then fall to the ground. And that's how you can really tell people. And then they'd be like, oh, that's why you missed. It's so windy out here. And then they'll be like, wait, but we're also out here and it's not windy. So what is, no, the wind over here is crazy. Yeah. The other thing, yeah. Interesting. This, I am ashamed to admit, I'll shoot a basketball. Sometimes I'll miss wildly and I'll just like kind of look at my hand. Huh. Kind of like, kind of act like you weren't attached to it. Nonchalant. Olympics. Just maybe go check your phone before you go chase the rolling ball just to be like, oh, I was just putting something up there to get it up there. It's no big deal. Stupid. Outside my front door, there have been birds that have been kind of perching there. And so right in front of my front door, there's just a bunch of bird shit. And now the birds are gone because I think they've like migrated or whatever for the season. But now there's an interesting development. There's a beehive there. And I thought about it, I was like, wait, that's crazy. This is literally the birds and the bees. My parents didn't have that talk with me. So I think the universe is like, hey, Garv, we need to have a chat. You got the birds? You got the bees? All right. You got it, man. That's okay. But that's real, by the way. So I don't want you to think I just brought that up to tell that joke. The joke is not the important part. The story is real. That's what's there. It just also, that joke happened to be there, so I wanted to mention it. That's real. I didn't just make that up. I didn't tee it up so I could hit that one at you. That's real. There were birds and now there's bees. The universe gave me birds and bees. And I'm very tapped in with the universe. I'm a great listener. So, I have great conversations with the universe. But how can you have good conversations, Garv? You can't even listen that well. Yeah, no, I have bad hearing. But something also has been happening with my ears. Well, one ear. You see, every week we do a segment on the show where I talk about what ailment I've been dealing with for the past week. And guess what? We got a new one this week, guys. Starting last Tuesday. That's right. It's been 6 straight days. My right ear has been ringing. And I've been thinking about it. What's that feeling? Like if you just tell someone my ear's ringing, if you've never had ringing ears, you don't know what that means. So I thought of all the different things it sounds like, and I'll run them by you. You see, a right ear ringing, the first thing I came up with was it feels like a school bell from far away. You ever hear a school bell? Like far away, maybe a little like off campus or something, and you hear your high school bell? It sounds like a school bell is constantly going off my ear. But I was like, but that's not even right. Second thing I thought it sounded like is, oh, maybe I was getting closer to the actual sound. I was like, it sounds like a car backing up if it's like on the other side of a wall. You know those like big trucks that have to make a beeping noise when they back up for safety purposes? It sounded like one of those was backing up, maybe right on the other side of a window. That's what it sounded like. But I was like, no, that doesn't sound right either. Then I was like, oh, it sounds like a plane that's taking off from far away, but it's just always taking off. I was like, that's not right either. But then I was like, you know what? As an engineer, you know what sounds like a plane taking off? A computer fan. And that's exactly what the sound has been in my right ear for the past 6 days. It's just been, what is 6 days? Would that be 144 hours? For the past 144 hours, it sounds like there's a computer fan in my right ear. I am losing my mind. But did I have much of a mind to begin with? Who knows? So yeah, if anyone knows what the fuck to do about ear ringing, I had ear ringing a month ago. Did a little mineral oil, cleaned it up. Then got my ears cleaned a couple weeks ago. Clean as a whistle. I went to the urgent care over the weekend and had them look at it, and they're like, wow, your ears are really clean. I was like, no, for real. Yeah, thank you so much. So what do I do though? And they're like, oh, we don't know. We don't really deal with the ears. So we'll send you to an audiologist or whatever. I was like, cool. No, that's so awesome. I'm glad I came to a hospital and you're like, So yeah, I'll let you know what happens there. I don't know. I might have like tinnitus in one of my ears. Who fucking knows? Which is a great thing to have because there's no fucking cure to it. Anyways, song recommendations. By the way, Spotify did that thing where they show you your most streamed songs, I think, for the entirety of the time you've had your account. My top Spotify song is apparently Party in the USA with 104 streams. So, in case you were curious, in case you got your review and you're like, I wonder what Gauruv's was. Well, that is my top. So, but another song I've been listening to recently is Universal Joint by Secret Agent 23 Skidoo. Apparently, I think it's a guy and a music producer, or maybe it's a group. I don't know. I Googled it. I couldn't figure it out. But I think it's a guy that makes like hip hop music for kids. So I don't know what that says, but I've been liking that song. So go give it a listen. But I want to thank you for listening to this podcast, showing up every week, showing support. Make sure we get at least 10 likes. That's all we could ask for. I would also, if you could figure out the ear thing, that'd be great too. Maybe you know what to do with that. It's insane. People have white noise machines. I searched up 24-hour white noise YouTube video with a black screen. It makes it go away, but then you got to listen to fucking white noise. And, well, I don't want to do that. But I do want to say thank you for listening to this brown noise for the last 32 minutes or so. And thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. And I will talk to you next week. Okay?